Thank you for the biblical question. What do you call a person who believes in science and doesn't believe in God? The short answer is an atheist. An atheist is one who doesn't believe in the existence of God. It is a dogmatic position. An agnostic is one who is unsure whether God exists or does not exist. There is insufficient proof or argument that persuades one position or another. In my view, science does not disprove the existence of God. God created the universe and the world by some means, method. Scientists are observing that means and postulate the cause or lack of cause for it. The Big Bang theory may support a cause for the universe while the steady-state theory may support the non-cause for the universe. It depends on how one looks at the data and interpret the data. For individuals who have the disposition that God doesn't exist, the reasoning or argument is that there is no observable evidence of God's existence. Science is able to explain the natural world without a supernatural intervention or a supreme creator or deity. For individuals who have the disposition that God does exist, the reasoning or arguments are the first cause, the Bible for Christians, and personal experience of or with God. Summary: the lens of our life and experiences affect how one perceives the existence or non-existence of God. As gullible as someone who only believes in God and not science. I don't believe in anything that I cannot verify in some way or another. Instructions from the Buddha and I believe them to be wise and true. Sometimes we might have to trust something we are unable to verify personally, but trust does not have to be dogmatic, it can be more gentle accepting until proved otherwise. Any rigid mental or emotional positions are in their own right mistaken since we are a species of being learning, we cannot know it all. One thing I am most struck by is how many truly genius people are so humble, gentle and open to being wrong because that is the mindset that allows them to research, play and be creative and experiment, with a mind uncluttered by driven thoughts and feelings. I am profoundly spiritual and yet have no belief in other than my own experience of the other realities shown to me by my practice. If they are all brain chemistry, that is okay, still doesn't mean they aren't real experiences, everything is simply brain chemistry anyway. I am open-minded to both spiritual truths and scientific explanations. Actually, I would say I am fascinated by them but do not follow any of them dogmatically as absolute truth because both my own experiences and those of scientific research show how wrong we can be as humans sometimes. The answer is agnostic atheism or agnostic atheist person, which is a person who using scientific methods to prove or disprove God and other things in life. For example, religious people say God made light, which is a belief in proven, but science proves. The sun made light. And suns are born and die on their own with facts. In other words, they use science to prove God exists or not. And cause science is based on facts or evidence, it's impossible to say God or a higher power exist cause scientifically there is no proof stating God exists. It's all a belief without proof. That's why they say have faith, which is to believe in something with no scientific evidence to support it. So your answer is agnostic atheist person. It's easier to believe and accept with proof or evidence scientifically, than something you can't prove scientifically and has no evidence to support it. That's why it's a belief, not facts. So in other words, they don't believe in God cause scientifically it can't be proven so therefore doesn't exist. Not to mention, the Bible was written by man, in his words, not God's, so to believe that man would be considered hearsay till there's scientific evidence to support it. Also, atheism doesn't mean they don't believe in God or gods. It means they have a lack of belief in God or gods. Agnostic means they use science to decide he exists or not. So look up agnostic atheist. That's the answer to your question. Agnostic theist means they believe in God knowing there isn't no evidence to support it, but still believe. What do you call a person who believes in science and doesn't believe in God? That person would be someone who doesn't get the concept of believing in something. Science isn't some entity to be obeyed like an automaton, or worshipped like some mindless minion, or a being to have faith in. Science is a process of discovery for analyzing phenomena and making predictive determinations. Science is a process which works exceptionally well and can be employed by literally everyone. In essence, science is nothing more than a testing and verification process, and believing in such things is equivalent to believing in running or swimming or any other activity indulged in. It's a nonsense interpretation of both science and what it means to believe in something. Otherwise, some people are comfortable being referred to as atheists within such a butchered context. Others just shake their heads and wonder exactly how much of a challenge we have as a species toward overcoming the sort of elementary level of willful ignorance we are currently mired in by theists.